Lieutenant General Max Noah.
President and Mrs. Boylan, Secretary Ushry, Representative Kidd, Dr. Ferguson, all you awardees, fellow alumni, and the Corps of Cadets of GMC. Thank you for the privilege of speaking to you today. It's especially meaningful to do so here on Grant Parade. I must say I'm returning to my roots here. There's a groove right over there where I walk the bull ring. My family came to Milledgeville a long time ago, about 75 years ago, believe it or not. My dad was over at the university, or the Georgia College. There's a recital hall that bears his name there. He was a professor of music. I came to GMC in the 6th grade. It was Dixie Williams, those of you who can remember her, and graduated in here in 11 years. Georgia required only 11 years of us at that time. In 1948, as the president said. I then went to Georgia Tech for a year, and in the middle of that year, Dr. Ferguson's father called me and said, "Would you like to go to West Point?" Well, going to West Point was a big deal then as it was now, probably bigger. And in fact, Dr. George Eccles here and I vied for that position. I was lucky enough to get it, and 63 years later, here I stand. As the president remarked, I did teach his class at West Point in a subject called juice, and as I was remarking to his wife, he stole my line. It was well known in the academy. Everybody took the same course, just like all Fords were painted black in the Model T era, and no matter what you did, you had to take juice, which was a dreaded course for most. Very interesting course. I would say West Point certainly formed the basis for my life, and I owe a lot to GMC here for that. GMC has a lot of values to our country, our locality here, especially you, the student. And I would say that you, the student, are our highest value at GMC. It's you that we put our trust with, and you we put our faith in. With you we put our teachings. And what you do is very important to us here, as you are now, and certainly as you leave and become one of our alumni. This school is not only a good, solid arts and science school curriculum, has very excellent athletics, winning athletics, and certainly a chance through the early commissioning program to become a commissioned officer in the services in the U.S. Army in my part, and I would urge you, those of you who are pursuing that, to pursue it with vigor and zeal. It's a good career. It was a excellent career for me. I really enjoyed it, and the start of mine was right here at GMC. The second element of the GMC story, I think, is the community. Milledgeville, Georgia is quite a community, and it's always treasured GMC alongside its sister Georgia College across town. The culture of this antebellum town, which was designed to be a state capital with all of its institutions, most now gone, stands for what we stand for. GMC has been center stage in this town for a long time and remains to be. For us town boys, as we were called, we were exceptionally proud of our school. When I think of my generation, which is Honorable Powell Moore and Dr. George Eccles, and then the Balls, the Goldsteins, to mention only a few of the citizens here in this town, and I can't name them all, who are dedicated to GMC. They've been proud of this school, and I was reminded of that yesterday when I was honored to join the GMC foundation that will in the future work to support the build-up of this school. And I think you have no way to go but up. I must say that, especially if you're looking at the Corps. Incidentally, your marching is expert, and I was very impressed with your march on. And to the brigade commander, thank you for allowing me to be here at this time. All of this I would end up to say that Milledgeville loves GMC, and of course have been proud to call you their own. The last part, which I think GMC plays a big part in, is the nation. Graduates in all parts of walks of life are excelled. You saw many here, and the honorees that came up here this morning. It wasn't just in the military. There were a few in the military, but there were a few in many other walks of life. Probably our best known graduate, if you ask him at national scale, is Carl Vinson. He used to live right behind me up on Montgomery Street. He embodied GMC. For his lifetime, he was dedicated to Milledgeville. He was dedicated to Georgia, and of course, his name still lives on. Well, it gives us a vote of pride whenever we hear what the Carl Vinson is doing out on the seas. Others are very well known. Of course, we have Secretary Bill Usry with us this morning, which we're delighted to have, and the building over here stands well to his name. We have a few. Who has not laughed at Oliver Hardy? I always used to bring him up, and people would say, "Is he from Milledgeville?" Hardy with the wood products, which is well known. Wally Butts at the University of Georgia was one of their greatest coaches, and he came from right down the street here, in fact. And my fellow Army compatriot, I have another Lieutenant General named Mick Kicklighter, who graduated from here in '52. At West Point, we often talk about the long gray line, because that's our line of graduates. And I would say here that we have our own long gray line at GMC of graduates who've contributed to the nation. And hopefully many of you will join that service to the nation. No talk at GMC would be replete without paying tribute to our president, General Peter Boylan. As I say, I knew him a little bit at West Point, a lot in the Army. He cut a wide swath. He was Commandant of Cadets at West Point. He commanded the 10th Mountain Division, and has had a distinguished military career. When he came here 20 years ago, I had been to GMC shortly before that. It was not in good shape. In that 20 years, you can see what he's built here. And with your help, and with Milledgeville's help, and in the future it will build some more, we pay tribute to him, and we certainly pay tribute to you, General Boylan. We thank he and his wife Kathy for being here. They're a great addition to the community. Well, in closing, my best to you, alumni, students, and citizens of Milledgeville. It's fun for Priscilla and I to be back in town. I hope we can come back and join you and visit more often. Good luck to you.